Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and today's range report is going to be on the Arsenal SAM7SF, an AK style rifle with a side folding stock. The SAM7 series is the Bulgarian imported milled receiver AK style gun, and I actually own one of the standard SAM7Rs, which means that it has a rail. This one also does have the rail, but I do not have the side folder. I'm going to talk about a couple of the pros and cons that I find about this rifle as compared to the more standard version. But let's get on with the range report first. How did this thing shoot? Well, like all Arsenal AKs that I've ever shot, it ran flawlessly. You know, the AK is a very robust rifle platform, and Arsenal is known for putting out high quality rifles. And this rifle does not disappoint in that department. It ran great. I think I put about 200 rounds through this thing, besides the ammo that Matt let me have, plus the ammo that I brought to the range. I did use a number of different magazines. This one here is Matt's Circle 10 mags, but I also ran some Magpul P mags through it. It shot everything, ran great, solid ejection, and with the RS Regulate mount and the SIG Romeo 5, it was a great combination, great shooting rifle, right on target, very accurate, a lot of fun to shoot. So, in that department, I give it very high ranks. But I want to talk about a couple things about this rifle that I kind of discovered that I don't like about it compared to the standard SAM7R. And I'm going to show those to you right now. But this in no way impugns the rifle. This is more of a personal preference thing, because obviously when it comes to any modern sporting rifle, AR, AKs, we like to customize the guns for our own personal tastes. So anything that I say negative about this gun is going to be solely based off of my personal opinion and the way that I like to set up my AKs. It does not mean that this is a inferior quality AK or that there is something wrong with it. These might be features that you personally like. I'm just going to share my personal experiences with you. First thing, it has an AK-74 style muzzle brake at the front. Now, these were really designed in the 1970s to help mitigate the flash of the 5.45 that they just simply scaled up to the 7.62. I didn't find this to be very effective on the 7.62. Even in the shooting videos that you see in the beginning of this, there's a considerable amount of flash. And the whole point of these was to really contain that flash. So I don't mind the brake. I don't like how large it is on a 7.62 gun. And I've shot ones with the slant brake. In fact, I have a couple of AKs with a slant brake, and I get just as much flash with those as I do with this. I don't see what the advantage to this one is. I think that there's better options out there that are smaller and even look cooler. Nothing wrong with this one though, but for my personal taste, I would rather have a more traditional 7.62 style brake versus this more AK-74 style that doesn't seem to work as well. When it comes to the side folding option, here, it's a tubular stock, which I think is kind of a nice upgrade. I know some of the early SF models had kind of a standard stock that folded over. I thought that looked kind of goofy. I really like the industrial look of the side folder with the tubular stock. That I think looks very nice. I love the way that that looks, and both when it is extended and folded, there is plenty of retention. I really like this system that they developed here on the side of the receiver to retain that stock. It is in there solid. It is not going anywhere. And when it is fully extended, as I said, that thing is rock solid as well. But now let's talk about the thing about the stock I don't like. It is very thin, and I guess these ridges here on the back, they kind of hurt. I felt that the tubular stock, when I had my cheek up against it and shooting, I could really feel it. It kind of rattled my teeth a little bit. Plus, when I shot it, I actually put a little kind of bruise right here on my shoulder. Compared to my other AKs, I don't have this type of recoil impulse. And I know it's not the gun itself. I know it's this stock. This is, to me, is a very uncomfortable stock. It looks cool. So aesthetically, I love the way this thing looks. But I don't like how it, kind of rattles my teeth. And it's very uncomfortable here in the back. Now here's the downside, and I think the biggest flaw to this rifle is that you cannot change out parts. Now maybe they offer different stock options, but this is kind of their proprietary rail system. Sorry, not rail system, stock system. So the way that it attaches to the back of the trunnion here in the receiver, I don't know if there's other options you can buy, but it appears that this whole thing is kind of welded into the receiver. So I don't think you can just go out and buy some other stock and put it on. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think you're kind of stuck with this when you buy it. Speaking of being stuck with things, the pistol grip. Now, one of the options here, because when you fold the stock, if you were going to shoot it with the stock folded, you cannot actuate the safety selector very easy. So they made it ambi, and they put the selector right here on the side of the pistol grip. So you can actuate it right there with your finger or thumb, depending on how you're holding it. The downside to this, if you ever want to change pistol grips, you can't. You're stuck with this one. Now, as I said, there might be aftermarket pistol grips that are designed specifically for this type of safety, but you're stuck with this. So if you ever have a problem with this pistol grip, if it ever cracks or breaks, or you simply don't like it and want to change, well, you're probably a little bit SOL for the most part. While this is not an uncomfortable grip, I do like the option of being able to change it out to something else that I may like. I also think this is a little bit of a design flaw in this. I wish there was a way that they could have maybe mounted the selector someplace else to give you that option of using ambi controls or firing it when the gun is, or the stock is folded, but they don't. Not a big fan of that. Another complaint that some people have with this particular gun is the painted finish. Now, on all of my Fine Group and Arsenal guns, I have the same painted finish. I have never had an issue with any of them. However, the painted finish on this particular example, I can definitely see is a little bit thin, especially out towards the barrel. While it is not rusting or anything, it does look a little bit on the pitted side, but there's nothing wrong with it. It just looks like it's not very thick. The paint is very thin out here. That could be because the rifle has been used a lot and gotten really hot. Maybe that's affected the painted finish. But as I said, I have a SAM7R that I fired a bunch through, gotten it really hot. I don't have the same paint issues. The receiver and the finish on the receiver and top cover looks fantastic. Same thing with the stock. It's mainly only out here on the barrel, so it could be just a heat thing. So, in general, excellent rifle. It's what you would expect from Arsenal. I had absolutely no problem with it whatsoever. The gun cycles smooth, ate everything I fed through it, no problem whatsoever. It's just those couple of issues with the stock and pistol grip, and even the mount here for the optic here. I know he's using an RS Regulate mount. I have a hard time getting it on and off with the placement of the sling mount. It doesn't always want to come off. You got to kind of really work off that mount. So I'm just keeping it on. I'm not going to take the gun apart. I don't want to damage it and do anything to Matt's gun. I'll let him handle all of that, but nothing's wrong with it. I just kind of wanted to see the internals. But I'm having a hard time getting this mount off with the sling. So I don't know if anyone else has had an issue with that, with the placement of that sling loop or not, but it's just metal on metal contact when I try to get the mount off. Those are my only complaints about it. Is this a high quality rifle? Absolutely. Is this a viable option if you find one? Absolutely. The options on it are probably something that personally I would not want to buy, but if this is a gun that you want a side folder, you want it with these options, you want it with this particular muzzle device, you like this, I think it's fantastic. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this gun. It is, as I said, very high quality. I'm gonna say that overall, I'm gonna give this thing 4 stars out of 5. Just with the issues that I talked about, the only thing that would concern me, that I would be upset about paying the price on this rifle, would be the painted finish out here towards the barrel. I'd kind of want something maybe a little bit more durable. So maybe kind of in the aftermarket, you can get it Cerakoted with high temp Cerakote or have the finish changed out. But on the ones that I personally own, I've never had an issue with it. So I'm not really sure about that thinner paint. So there you go. So that is my range report on the Arsenal SAM7SF, a fantastic rifle, nothing wrong with it at all. It just might not have all the options in an AK that I would personally want, but this might be the perfect rifle for you. So there you go. So let me know if you have any questions. And as always, thanks for watching.